make sure there's no leaks. Cables are in.
It's the start of a big day for newly qualified pilot Greg Sugden. He's about to fly his first aircraft with passengers on board.
This could well be open if the crane guys are going to...
Today's punishing schedule will be from Bristol to Prague and then a further flight to Amsterdam.
First flight of the day, so the cargo holds are going to be closed.
Base Captain Brian Mullen takes Greg through the external checks he'll be expected to make before every flight in future.
Okay. It's a big day for him, really, because it's when he's been released now to fly with real passengers. He's done all his training, done his simulator sessions, and today's his first day flying with on a commercial service with passengers on board. So, yeah, he is going to be nervous. It's a big day for him. We need to just sort of nurse him through today, really, just show him the ropes. Just generally a settling-in day for him. We've got a second co-pilot with us because, obviously, as Greg's not qualified on the airplane yet, he has high weather minima. So in case the weather does drop, we have a second co-pilot with us who can jump into the seat and we can get in, because at the end of the day, it is still a commercial operation and we have to get going. Let's go along the leading edge here. Towards the icing fluid here, you see. Oh, it's nerve-wracking. I mean, you're terrified. I think that when you come up to the airplane, the sheer size of the thing is the thing that hits you first. You know, and then, of course, you've got the added commercial pressures on where the other guy's pushing you because we've only got so much time on a turnaround to do it. So, yeah, it is. It's a big step, and it's terrifying for the guys initially.
The external walk-round is just the start of today's pre-flight preparations.
Ready for your chaff check then, whenever.
Once settled in the cockpit, there's a whole range of other checks to be carried out. And for the rest of Greg's career, it'll be the same before each and every flight he's going to make. EasyJet sent Greg to New Zealand to learn to fly with further training on its simulators. Now it's time to find out if it's all been worthwhile.
Flat 5 as normal, and reduced thrust, work out when the rotations arrives.
Standard course, standard procedures.
Standard procedures. Well, no special procedure here at Bristol. Climb straight ahead conditioning.
Okay.
Window heat,
on,
hydraulics,
normal.
Air conditioning, no packs on, leads on, set, instruments.
Set.
Radios, radar, transponder.
Set.
Rudder and aileron.
3 and 0.
Cross start checks complete.
Oh, that's us ready.
Just a few minutes after 7 o'clock, Greg, Brian, the extra co-pilot, and more than 100 passengers are setting out on their way to Prague. For Greg, this is a takeoff he's always likely to remember. In the air, somewhere over Europe, with Greg at the controls, the EasyJet cabin crew are about to start their day's work.
It's okay.
As usual, they've taken on enough food and drink to last them for the flights to both Prague and then Amsterdam.
Would you like anything else?
But this morning, things are unusually busy, and both the food and the drink is starting to disappear much quicker than normal. Even the champagne is in demand. Communications between the crew can be a problem on a busy plane, so they've developed a series of special signals.
Cheese! And the BLT! And the turkey lurkey. The sandwiches, BLT. Yes, people are mesmerised by that. Water for your coffee, okay. Anything else?
And to prove the point, 1 BLT, please.
$9.20, please. Lovely, perfect.
The remaining champagne on board has also been sold, this time to celebrate a very special event.
Champagne for the honeymooners.
Thank you.
Claire and Jonathan from Ilchester have been married for 25 years and are on their way to Prague as part of their silver wedding celebrations. Cabin manager Rachel Feltham thinks it's an anniversary the rest of the passengers should share as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, we do have another very special announcement to make. We have Claire and Jonathan sat in 1A and 1B. It's their 25th wedding anniversary.
Don't go and have a tiff now.
Yeah.
It's a special occasion, our silver wedding anniversary. We want to go somewhere special, nice and romantic. It was better than my wedding day. Am I allowed to say that? It really was better than my wedding day. Don't ask me why, but it just was. And I cried all evening. It was so lovely.
It was a spur of the moment thing. We weren't going to do anything. We were going to go away for the weekend here to Prague and do something in the new year. And then as the day was getting closer, we said, well, what are we going to do? And ended up with 40 people. So we went to the town hall and they did some catering for us, and it was fantastic. We had a cake. So it was just a lovely time.
Like some snow and go on a sleigh ride. Be lovely.
Outside, there's been an accident. A luggage conveyor has hit the cargo door of an EasyJet Airbus. Because it might have damaged an airtight seal, the plane's been taken out of service. The passengers who were on board at the time have had to get off. In Bristol, the engineers make a final check on the Airbus that was hit by the luggage conveyor. The damage is not too serious, and the chief engineer and the captain have a final discussion before the passengers can reboard and the flight get away. On the ground in Prague, while the pilots check outside, the cabin crew have just a few minutes to get the plane ready for the next passengers.
Have my posh gloves here, all ready to do my job. Yeehaw! Here we are. Bling bling. Don't we just love them? All my rubbish, and I don't get my hands all messy and nasty.
On an average turnaround, the crew have just 7 minutes to check, clean and prepare.
It's real. The pearl's real, by the way. Do you like it?
We're on our hands and knees more than we are. Don't get any help. Here we are. Oh, I'm going to sit down. I've done it, I'm there.
Up front of the aircraft, Greg's back in his seat ready for the return flight to Bristol. But as the plane leaves Prague, cabin manager Rachel Feltham will have some bad news for the passengers. So much food and drink has been sold on the way out, there's now hardly any left.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Rachel. I'm your senior cabin crew member on this EasyJet flight. Working alongside me today is Baz and the Queen. We'd just like to advise you of the fact that we have very little catering on board this afternoon's flight. We made the decision to not delay the flight and upload a whole new bar and to go for the short flight with very little catering on board. So I'd like to advise you now that we have no sandwiches on board, no adult snack packs, no plain Pringles, no shortbread and no soups.
Well, generally, most people are okay. Because if you just apologise and explain to them, beginning of the day you're loaded so much and, you know, it's demands, isn't it? It can't possibly last all day on busy flights. And if you offer them an alternative like soup or something, then generally they're okay. We're very, very low on muffins. That's the chocolate side, very low on Kit Kats. So that's all round, everything's getting bad now. It should be fine, they probably just want alcohol, so we'll be okay. Anyway, we can cope.
Despite the lack of food and drink, the remaining flights go well, and sooner than he might have thought, Greg is back in Bristol at the end of his first day.
Very exciting. We did 4 sectors. Finally back here after what was about 10 hours. A bit tired. Very hard work. Wasn't expecting it to be quite that much hard work. There's a lot to do in the turnaround, so I wasn't really nervous when I saw the plane. The first time I got a little bit nervous when I saw the passengers boarding, because obviously in the simulator you don't have passengers. It's all the same as in terms of the flight deck. All the buttons and controls are still there, but there's just no passengers. And then you actually see real people sitting behind you, taking their seats, and you're going to fly them to Amsterdam or Prague, and you know that you're landing. They're all going to know about it if you screw it up. So that's the first time I got a little bit nervous, but it settles in after 4 sectors. You get used to it. On the first approach back into Bristol, I had control, disconnected the autopilot to do the landing, and I was in charge of the landing. I think that was the point I was most nervous today, because you see the runway coming up pretty quick, and if you don't do it right, the passengers will be laughing at you. It wasn't my best landing, and then again it wasn't the worst. I've been off not landing now for about 2 weeks, and it's any gap, you get out of practice a bit, but I think after a few more sectors they'll be spot on.